This is a video to go over how to load accessorials onto shipments in WestRock's OTM system. When you log into OTM, along the left side, you'll see Accessorial Invoice Loader. When you click that, you'll see Accessorial Invoice. When you click into the screen, you'll see several fields that need to be filled out in order to load an accessorial. Additionally, there is a spreadsheet with the same fields where you can enter all of the same data and import the sheet rather than filling it out in OTM. You'll click Import to import the sheet from wherever it is saved on your computer. The fields that are required are carrier invoice number. This is an internal number that can be whatever your company uses for the invoice number. The invoice date, which would be the date that you're entering the invoice. Carrier, which is your 4-digit SCAC. BM number, which is the shipment ID. This is given to you when you're tendered the load. It's either a 7-digit number that's all numbers, or it's a longer one that starts with SAP. Equipment, which is a field that is whatever the equipment number is for this load. This is an optional field. Approved by is an internal field that is not necessary to fill in anything. Notes, which is an optional field if you have any notes that you need to add. Invoice line is a required and very important entry. It will always be 1 unless you're entering multiple lines for the same shipment. Accessorial code is the actual type of accessorial that you're adding to the shipment. This has a drop-down that shows you all the available options. And this is an overview of what each of those options mean, the description, whether it's a source or destination cost, and then the actual code itself. If you're entering this onto the spreadsheet, you'll want to type what is under accessorial code on this sheet. Once you've selected the code, the next column is for invoice line amount, and this is the amount of the charge. And then the last one is currency, which will always be US dollars. The next step is to validate and make sure that all required fields are filled in. You should see this check that says successful, no errors. You can additionally add or delete lines if you'd like to do multiple lines or take away lines. And then once you have everything set, you can create the invoice. This is the loading screen that pops up. It'll take a few seconds. And then you'll see this screen which says success, transaction success. If it does not say success and there's an issue due to not being able to link up with a shipment or something like that, please contact OTM carrier support. This screen is also where you can upload documentation. If you scroll to the right, there's an action for upload document. If you click there, a window pops up that allows you to choose the file that you'd like to load for documentation. Select the file off of your computer and click upload. The system will confirm that it's successfully been loaded, and now this is complete. To load multiple lines when entering accessorials in OTM, click Add Line and add as many lines as you need. You can additionally check boxes and go back and delete lines if you've entered them and you no longer need them. When adding multiple lines, make sure that you have separate invoice numbers for each line, the invoice date, which would still be today's date. You would need to enter the SCAC for every single one. The shipment numbers, again, you can enter multiple accessorials on one shipment if that applies. Here we'll add 2 onto one shipment and then a separate one onto a different shipment. Again, the equipment field is optional, but if you'd like to keep track of the trailer number that was assigned to the shipment, you can put that on there. Approved by, not required. Notes, not required, but you can use it if you need to add any notes. This is the important part, the invoice line. Because we're doing 2 lines on one shipment, we need to put 1 and then 2 for the second one. But then this third line is for a separate shipment, so that will be 1. Now we'll choose the accessorial code. We'll choose the amounts for each accessorial that we're adding. And then we'll choose US dollars. All of these entries would be the same if you were using the spreadsheet to load it. You would still need to load all of this information the exact same way. And with the 2 accessorials on one shipment, you would still need line 1 and line 2, and then on the other one, line 1. So we'll go ahead and create the invoices, and they were all a success. Again, if we need to load any documentation onto these, we can do that with the action over on the right. After you have loaded the accessorial, if you determine that you forgot documentation or if the approver requests documentation, this is how you would add it after the accessorial has already been loaded. Go to the loader menu, go to invoice document upload. You see a little search bar up here at the top. That's if you know the invoice or bill ID, which is probably unlikely, so you can go to F right here to find. And on this search page, we will go to the invoice reference number and we will enter the shipment ID that we're looking for. Then we'll click search. And this will bring up the accessorial that we were looking at. So in this case is this $100 accessorial that we just loaded. So now we'll go up and click finish. That will load the invoice bill ID on here. We'll click add invoice. That basically puts it right here so that we can upload a document again. So now we'll click here and it's the same process. We'll choose the file, load one from our computer, and it has been successfully uploaded.